up, YTBC? It's the boxing now. I was this is a topic I don't like to hit on, but I'm gonna have to hit on it because of what Oscar De La Hoya came out and said about the truth about boxing in his view. He said if you're gonna run from an opponent, nobody gonna like you, but if you get knocked out, people like you. That's just the gist of what he said. Basically, if you want to go see what he said, you can go see it on Fight Hype. But other than that, I mean, the truth is that was a blatant lie, man. It was a blatant lie because people like Triple G though. They like Triple G. I'm not gonna lie, they like Triple G. And Triple G gets knockouts, and he fits that description. He gets knockouts. But here's the flip side. Okay, here's the flip side. Deontay Wilder has knocked out every opponent he's fought besides one, and then knocked him out in a rematch. So, with this being said, people don't like him. Americans don't like him. Even though when he was an Olympic, he fought for an American team. All right, when he comes out, he says, American. He says he's American. It ain't about him being black. He says he likes, the fact that he's an American and that he likes that the U.S. flag, his place, USA. He's down for Alabama, which is one of the more American states that we have. You dig it? So you can kind of get the gist of where I'm going. Like I said, I don't really like to talk about race like that, but it is what it is, man. What's the difference between Triple G and Deontay Wilder? Okay, Deontay has more knockouts. And Triple G has less. But people like Triple G. People don't like Deontay Wilder. There's only one difference, y'all. Okay, and it's their race. One's black, one's white. One of them isn't even from America. So that is weird because Americans love Triple G, boy. White Americans, oh my goodness, they love Triple G, but they hate Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder because he's bronze. It don't have nothing to do with him being a bomber. It's because he's a bronze-colored man, and hey, it is what it is, man. And that's how I say it, but it's jacked up because the amount of racism is so cruel, man. It's not cruel. It's just the fact that you won't give Floyd Mayweather his credit for being the greatest technician and being on a whole nother level than every other fighter that ever been in the weight class. You won't give him that, but you'll give Triple G that you love that Triple G doesn't really stick to the sweet science, and he actually gets a whole bunch of knockouts. Same with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder don't stick to the sweet science. Only one person has mastered the sweet science, and of course that's Floyd Mayweather. Okay, we all know that. Whether you're white or black, you know that. Whether you want to admit it is a whole other thing. But the real topic of this, like I said, is about completely refuting what Oscar De La Hoya said, and you could tell he said it just to pick with Floyd Mayweather, just to try to start some beef up, like after, because he said it after Floyd said what he said, so he did it just to be completely contrary, man. It's no other reason, because he knows that's not true, because he was dealing with it at one point. Okay, they was calling him, they were saying that he was in the real Chicano or whatever, Chicano. They were saying that he wasn't a real Mexican warrior. Okay, this cat had to go prove his Hispanicness. Okay, same with Cuban fighters. I noticed that people, if you a Cuban fighter and your skin is light, you cool. But somebody like Rigondeaux or Laura, people who get who getting thrown under the rug, especially by Triple G, don't want to fight Laura. I mean, it's been 2 years now, y'all. He been calling this cat out for 2 years now. Okay, so why ain't he on the map? Okay, why come GGG ain't being called a duck and bum? Why ain't he being called a scrub, as I heard it? Because that's what they was calling Archer Spilka, because he lost to Deontay Wilder. Okay, and Triple G, I mean, he's alright, but he don't want to fight Laura. He don't want to fight Laura. He don't want to fight Andre Ward. And they did Andre Ward dirty. They said Andre Ward said they was off the phone with me in 5 minutes. They didn't want to fight. They didn't want to have none of it. So I can tell you now, and that's why what's going on with Triple G is going on with Triple G. That's why he's getting what he deserved, man. All right, and I don't care, man. Once I heard about him ducking Laura, I was like, okay, yeah, he ducked Andre Ward. That's okay. That's one thing. But he even ducked Laura. I mean, like, who knows who else been calling him out? So that's why he's going through what he's going through. But back to the subject. Deontay Wilder and what Oscar De La Hoya said. It's not true. It was even this one bum, one clown came around and talking about well, you know, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury wanted to fight with Wilder in the ring or whatever, because this guy took off his jacket. Now anybody who actually have ever been in a fight, you know when a person bluffing because they start putting on a front, and that's what Tyson Fury did. All right, Deontay Wilder was serious as a heart attack. This cat just put somebody in a darn stretcher. All right, I mean, the guy he just fought got a bomb to the skull, like I was saying. He got bombed and was put in the stretcher and was took to the hospital. So he probably wasn't in the mood to be playing. He was dead serious. You go, man. Look, I wouldn't have got up in the ring and said that after I just seen a man get pulled off on the stretcher. This ain't no game. You don't understand that. And these cats out here giving Tyson Fury credit, even though it's good promoting, but still they're giving this guy credit. They're giving Triple G credit. They probably even have something to say if Triple G lose. And if Deontay Wilder lose, you know they're going to say something like, it was only a matter of time. He was fighting bums. But Spilker wasn't no bum, okay? He was not no bum. I don't care what nobody said. He was not no bum. He was the game opponent. I even scored the card myself having Spilker winning by 1 round, okay? So bump Showtime or whatever they had scoring because Spilker was boxing. He was out boxing. He was even getting some left hands in, but he was out boxing Dante. He was out boxing Wilder. I mean, he stuck to his game plan. The only reason he messed up is because at this point Dante knew, he knew he had to step in and actually land something heavy, which he landed like 2 right hands before he had brought the knockout. So that was his 3rd right hand in the fight. But he knew. And I can guarantee you Wilder's going to go back in that gym and work on his boxing skill. But, as I say, like, Wilder is somebody you can see who improved from fight to fight. He improves pretty drastic too. Like, it's the things that you saw last fight that he was making a mistake in. You see him come in this fight and improving. And that's going to just be how it is. But for there to be no racism, like, I just can't believe it, man. Sometimes I try to be like, you know what, man, maybe, but nah, it's just too much. It's just too much. Okay? Even cats in the UK and Russia, and this is my thing, it's really just Americans, man. It's really just white Americans who don't like, because it's just a mental history. A brain keeps history from the past. So if you afraid, which is originally where, racism came from, because they saw, I'm gonna just be real with you, athletically they saw that Hebrew or not Hebrew, because that's the original ancestry of Black Americans, Black Negroes, is Hebrew. So once they saw that they were physically better. Same thing with Egyptians. That when they saw that the Hebrews were physically, stronger and more athletic, and even have filled with a lot of wisdom, they get scared. This is what racists tend to do. And instead of it being racist, I realized that it's not race. It doesn't matter about the skin color, because we all in America. So it's 2 nations. That's the thing. If people really cared about America, you wouldn't have people booing at Deontay Wilder yesterday. Okay? You wouldn't have had people coming out and doing that. If they cared about race, you wouldn't have so many American haters. And if it wasn't about race, they wouldn't have so many American haters who didn't like Floyd Mayweather. That wouldn't be the case, all right? So I'm just sick of it, man. Especially in the YTBC, man. Some of you clowns make these silliest videos, man. I mean, straight up, flat out silly. You look like straight clowns. All right. None of what you're saying is true. And the one thing they good at, these racists are good at doing, are flipping things. They'll flip it. They'll make it transparent, and what they'll do is make it vice versa. Like Thunderdome, who's a big racist, man. A really, I mean, I don't want to call him racist. I just want to call him prejudiced. Obviously prejudiced. You can talk about every black fighter you've seen, and even undefeated Floyd Mayweather, which a lot of white people talk about. You know, it just shows that there's more to it than just race. All right, we all live in America. So how is it that you don't like me, but you love America, and I'm fighting for America? So as I said, man, it goes deeper than skin color. It's really just two nations, man, two separate nations, because it is, like I said, it is what it is, but it's just sad to see it, because this cat, you know, come out with the American flag, everything else, and you still hating on him? Okay, but you like this guy who's from Kazakhstan and say he's better than Floyd Mayweather, the American fighter that has perfected, and when I say perfected, I mean literally perfected the sweet science, who perfected the sweet science, who worked hard every day in the gym, just to say he's proud of being an American, and USA will always be welterweight champions, but you upset? I don't understand you guys. I really don't. Like, you can tell a racist because they just come up with the craziest stuff. I really don't understand it. How can you love America but don't like this guy, and then say why you don't like him, but then when a guy who does the same thing, who isn't from America, you like him? There's only one difference, and it's white and black. That's the only difference. That is the only difference. So stop saying this, oh, well, you know, they're the racist, the blacks are the racist because they talk. No, man, all we doing is just anteing back out what y'all give us. We just handing it back out, man. We just telling the truth. That's just how it is. It's just sickening, man. It just really is. And it's sad to say this, man, but I don't really know, man. That's why I say, man, sometimes I just want to leave the country altogether, man. Sometimes USA is not worth, especially for a black male or any person who's of color, worth even supporting, man. It really isn't, man, because they're always going to be, and like I said, that's the downfall of African Americans and other colors. We're so built on impressing the people. I'm gonna just be flat out white people, man. We so built on impressing that I'm not, man. Honestly, at this point, man, I don't care what they say anymore, man. Like, it'll never be enough. It'll never be enough, and that's the problem with us. We so fed up and not being enough, we don't understand that we're our own people, and they're their own people, and they know they're their own people. That's why we the ones constantly running around trying to figure out why everybody being racist to us. But they understand. They didn't lose their history. All right, you dig it? White people didn't lose their history. They still know where they've been in the world. The only people who don't is the Negroes that were enslaved, coming from out of Africa, who were enslaved and put on cargo ships and brought over here. After a while, we forgot our history, and now we still slaves, man. We still slaves to what people think. We still slaves to, society. We still slaves to everything. Everything, man. Ain't no way you go to work. My dad can go to work every day and come back and, like, me and your dad work the same job as me, but your dad worked the same job as my dad, but your dad get paid more. Not getting paid more. He just has more than what my father has because of an inheritance. That's crazy. All right? And half the stuff, and really, I'm going to be real with you, a lot of the stuff that Negroes worked for back in the day was stolen from by white people. So that's why that has something to do with the condition we in. The other reason we in the condition we in is because, like, if you ever seen a hooker and her pimp, like, the hooker is killing herself trying to do what the pimp asked to do, even though she should realize Well, no, it's like a man. It's more like a man thing, like a man who following after another man, and he just keep getting, he just keep getting discredited and keep trying to do more and keep trying to do more to the point to where he's even better than this man. But yet, every time he turn around, this man, the other man who's weak and isn't strong, is keep, insulting and discrediting everything the strong man does. And that's what Negroes are. That's what Negroes have happened to them. All right? That's what happened. And that's why we keep going, especially in boxing, man. And I feel for Floyd Mayweather, because this cat, American, he showed people what the sweet science is, which is boxing, not slugfest, boxing. And he went 49-0, tip-top shape. Good role model. How was he not? He used to talk trash, all right? He was a kid back then. That's about it. Because the thing that happened with the woman was so alleged, man. You have to look that case up, man. Y'all have to. It was alleged. Everything that happened was alleged, and they even let him off out of jail early. All right, just how non-evidential it was. They let him out of jail early. If people don't know that, go look up the case before you start using it. And he's a gentleman. Now he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. He ain't never. Man, to be real with you, I don't see him saying anything insulting back to the people who were talking all this trash to him. Especially somebody like Conor McGregor. Alright? He could have came back and said a whole gang of stuff. Or to Oscar De La Hoya for making that stupid, clownish, flat out, outright, ugly, disgusting statement he made, man, about no racism at all. Like, did you really say that? Like, that's something I would ask. Did you really just say no racism in boxing at all? And this is a perfect refute, man. What happened to Deontay Wilder? This is a perfect refute. Deontay Wilder knocked out all his opponents. Spilker was a game opponent. Game opponent. I'm talking about winning rounds, dog. Like like he in the card that I scored him, he was actually beating Deontay Wilder. So for you cats that say he's a bum, you lying. But back to what I was saying. Game opponent. He beat a game opponent. He knocked him out with the right hand. And according to Oscar De La Hoya, that's the key to fans, right? Knocking folks out. That's the key to fans. And he done knocked out everybody. So like I said, man, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong with us, with black people. I know what's wrong with us. We too busy following and trying to get this approval from the other races, not knowing that the other races in the world know that they're a nation. The only people who don't is black people. We're the only people who do not believe that we are confound by one another. We don't believe that. We believe we can be confound in other class of races. Like we believe that we can blend with white people, or we believe that we shouldn't have to blend with black people. But all in all is race by race, and they understand that because it don't matter, man. Okay, a guy from the USA they won't even take up for because he's black, but a guy from Kazakhstan, a Khazar, they'll take up for in a heartbeat, man. Alright? I'm telling you, man, it goes deeper than the color of the skin, man. It's whole nations, dog. You just can't follow them no more, man. You gotta just be, we have to be one within each other, because at the end of the day, in a race war, like I heard one video, I forgot who said it, but in a race war, man, I would be foolish to believe that a white person would be on my side, man. I would just be foolish. I would be foolish to believe that I could stay on a white person's side, because all in all, man, throughout history has proven the original terrorists on this earth were white people. So if a war were to break out, it would probably be initiated by white people. Okay? And I'm not racist. Like I said, I'm not racist. I just understand, man. I know. All right? When it comes down, everybody is, I don't care what you say, man. Everybody is prejudiced in their own, not in their own way. You mentally prejudiced because you're born with a prejudice if you were born around a whole bunch of black people, or if you're born black and you take some some discredit from white people, you automatically begin to have a prejudice. Everybody has a prejudice because it's two different nations. It's two different, it's like, how can I say it? It's like two nations was brought into two different places, but one nation knows that they were a whole nation, and the other nation just don't believe that they're themselves. They believe that there's an identity between all people, when really it's not. It's not no identity between every single person. It's not. Everybody is still connected. Is still connected to their race. If you get where I'm going, man. If you understand what I'm saying. So that's why we see a lot of this racism in boxing, man. Because I could see if it was a whole nother country, but nah, it's not another country. I'm just flat out saying it's racism, heavy racism. I mean disrespectful racism, man. To say what you say about GGG, who's not an American, and then to look at Deontay Wilder and call him a bum, it's something wrong with that. All right, especially after Deontay Wilder has, in my opinion, I wouldn't say better resume, but not by the people he fought, but by the way he fought them. Knockout. And then then it was a split decision or whatever, and then knockout. Okay? Knockout. And it's silly because then when he fights somebody who's black, it's no backlash. But when he fights somebody who's white and beats them, and not Spilker, Spilker was a gang opponent. I had Spilker winning on the card, like I said before. But then when he fights him, these cats come out with a video talking about he keep fighting scrubs. When are y'all just gonna say the man's great? When are y'all gonna say and come out in the mid? Floyd Mayweather is great. All right, he's a great boxer. He's the best I've seen so far in history at perfecting the sweet science. He's great. Why can't nobody say that? Why can't nobody say that, man? It's table talk, man. It's the boxing mouth. I'm out. Peace. I'm sick of it, dog.